Hi, I am Jay Bonner, and this is video 5, July 27th, 2017. At the end of video 2, I asked two questions. How do we get the message out, and how do we rally men and women of faith to take back our country? Well, on video 3 and 4, what I have suggested is that if we as Americans are going to rally together, that we should look at rallying together at the Declaration of Independence. In those two videos, what I've done is I've introduced 5 principles that I believe will give us, we the people, the power to end up taking back our country. That there are many who have taken control of the money, the communication, and the information, which through the NSA. And so we the people, in order to take back our country, we need to go to a higher power, which is the same power that our founding fathers went to overcome the king, and they went directly to God. And I believe that for us to save America, that we need to have the power of God on our side in order to save America. So my belief and faith is that we need, as men and women of faith, to rally, to come together and rally to end up taking back our country. The other question, number 1, was how do we get the message out? Well, there's one way in which we've been given the responsibility, and that is that we have an individual responsibility. And that is, as a patriot, what we need to do is one is to engage and vote. We have to get registered. It's sad, but that there's a lot of people that see in terms of the failure of our country, especially in Washington right now, and they've become so discouraged that they've chosen to opt out of the election process. And we really need to take back our country, and we need to take back our country through the tools that God has given to us, and that's the tools that lie within the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States, and that means vote. And that means that we need to elect men and women of faith who hate dishonest gain but love God, that love God and hate dishonest gain. So that tool has been given to us. We're looking at in 6 years, we can replace every elected official, Senate, House of Representatives, and President through the voting process. And that's what we've been given in terms of the tools of the vote. And so the key is that we need to end up recognizing that we have a responsibility to vote. The other way is to get involved and engaged in your social groups. My social group is the church, and so my church is my social group. And when I first received the call to run for Congress, immediately I went to my social group, the church, and I said, "Hey, look, I'm running for Congress." And there is a lady in the church that actually produces a prayer page, and that prayer page, in that prayer page, I used to appear every week. I was a beginning founder of the Faith Initiative within the Department of Juvenile Justice, and for over a decade I worked in the DJJ system here in Palm Beach County to rally the faith community to the needs that we have of our youth and families in the Department of Juvenile Justice. And every week I appeared in the faith page, in the prayer page of our church, and the prayer page was an insert that this lady would end up producing, and she would end up inserting it into the bulletin, and people would take it home and they would pray for the things that were on the bulletin every week throughout the week, and then next week they would end up getting a new prayer page. But when I decided to end up running for Congress, the lady, she came and she said, "Look, Jay, we can no longer pray for you because of the Johnson Amendment to the IRS, and the Johnson Amendment prohibits the support of 501c3 organizations to candidates that are running for a political office. They can pray, the church can end up praying for already existing people. For instance, we can pray for a president, pray for men and women that are in office. But in terms of engaging and being involved with candidates, because of the IRS rules, the Johnson Amendment that was entered into the IRS rules, we can no longer pray for you, Jay." Well, you know, I understand. I recognize that, and so if we are to rise up and take back control of our country, one of the things that we have to do is to remove the Johnson Amendment to the IRS rules, which will end up freeing up the opportunity for the church to be able to get engaged in the support and prayer of candidates that are running for a political office, Congress, and that. Fortunately, every session of Congress we have a Representative Walter Jones from North Carolina, and this session, the 115th congressional session, Walter Jones has introduced House Bill H.R. 172, and this bill is very simple. It's a two-page bill, and all it does is it strikes out the 31 words that are in that Congress placed into the IRS rules back in 1954, which is the Johnson Amendment, and which prohibits the church from praying for candidates for Congress, and which is a violation of the Constitution of the United States, the First Amendment, which says that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So what you're really looking at is that the Johnson Amendment prohibits the free exercise of my church to be able to put me in their church bulletin, in their prayer page, because I am a candidate. So actually I'm a victim of the, and have been violated and have been hurt by the Johnson Amendment in terms of being a candidate that runs for office and in violation of the Constitution of the United States, if that by any means happens to encourage the party that says they want to remove the Johnson Amendment, and a president that says that he'll sign a bill that removes the Johnson Amendment for the IRS. So anyway, we have an individual responsibility to end up getting the message out, and we also have in terms of a collective responsibility, and through the social groups that you're engaged and involved in, to be able to take back our country. The key is, though, that we need to do so in peace, in love, and through the vote. Now, final message. In 2013, when I received the call to end up running for office, I was terrified. I had never run for office before, and although I had been engaged in over a decade in terms of rallying the faith community to the needs that we have in the Department of Juvenile Justice, I now have been called to rally the faith community to meet the needs that we have in Washington, D.C., to end up rallying the patriots, the men and women of faith who are patriots in the United States of America, to end up taking back our country for the glory of the Lord. And this is quite a scary opposition. When I first began, and my video in the very beginning, you can go onto my website, jbonner.us, and the video there that gives the story, it's a 15-minute story, what I went through and the process of thinking, and the process to actually come to the point to accepting this call that God had given to me, because it was quite scary. So if God is calling you for a position in office, elected position in office, I encourage you to heed the call, because where God calls you, He will provide for you. And although it's scary and it seems overwhelming, He will open up the doors and He will provide. And I can tell you that through my walk and through my journey, that it has been rewarding, because I've seen the evidence of God and His hand upon me throughout this whole thing. And I pray for you that are listening to this, that have no relationship with God at all. But God is real. He really loves us, and He really wants to end up saving America. And there is a much better place that we can be in loving and caring for each other through the glory and through the love that He has given to us, and the opportunity that we have through the Lord and His Son and through the Holy Spirit. So anyway, I want to encourage you, if you've been called to end up running, and if you end up needing any encouragement or help and support in terms of running, just give me a call. My information is on my website, jbonner.us, and I've helped another candidate that ended up making a decision to end up running for the State House of Representatives, State of Florida House of Representatives. and have already experienced that privilege in terms of encouraging another man of faith in terms of running. So I'm able to end up doing that. But one of the things that I have seen, and this is something that we'll continue in on our next video, is that as I've grown into knowledge of what is needed in this call, what I've come to recognize is the tremendous amount of evil that is out there. The battle that we're fighting is spiritual. It's only going to be overcome by the Lord. There are many out there that have been deceived, and we know that the deceiver is the devil, and the devil has been very good in terms of deceiving many people in the United States to where they're thinking what they're doing is right. The truth has got to be brought to them. The truth is light. It will reveal the truth. And in order for the truth to reach them, somebody has to go and carry the message. And so what we are needing is that we're needing Gideons. We're needing warriors that will step up in truth, in light, in the glory of the Lord, that will end up bringing forth this message that is found in the Declaration of Independence through the laws of nature and nature's God. And we have a job and a task before us in order to save our country. May God bless you, and may God bless America, and thank you. Bye.